Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. There's an interesting story that's told about Rav Zusha Me'anapoli, that if he ever saw anybody having a bird cage in their house for fun, for niceness, for entertainment, he would actually try to fulfill the mitzvah of Pidyon Shivuim by buying them off from the owner and letting them free. That's a story that I read somewhere, and I mean I can't say it's a fact, but that's what's brought. And the question is, did he do that mitzad din? It's not the best thing to have birds in a cage, or is it actually the halacha that you have to let the birds run around free and we can't just contain them in a bird cage because you want to have some birds at home? So I did see a tshuva from one of the dayanim in today's days, and he's mayrich about this topic. Is keeping birds locked up in a cage, in a bird cage, is that considered is there an issue? Preferably, most probably, the issue of tsar balachayim. You're not letting them run around free, fly around free as their nature should be. Is it tsar balachayim, and is it the wrong thing to have birds in a cage? And this tshuva is mayrich in going through the whole halachas of tsar balachayim. What is tsar balachayim? To which animals tsar balachayim apply? Does it only apply to behemoths that do work or not? And he goes through all the details. And the summary of this halacha, the summary of this shuvah, he says like this: these birds that are usually put in the cage for entertainment or for fun for people to have as pets in their home, they actually benefit from being locked up in that cage, because they grew up in that cage, and they actually don't know the life outside the cage. Here they have somebody feeding them. Hopefully, people are feeding them. People taking care of them. Life is easy to them. When you release them, you're setting them up for disaster. They haven't learned how to live outside of the cage. So it's actually best to keep them there, especially. When you release them, there's going to be two problems. A, they're not going to know how to get food. They have been locked up all their life. And second of all, in your house, in your office, it's warm, temperature is nice. They go out, and if you're living somewhere cold, they're going to be hit with a blast of cold air, and they're not ready for this. Especially if it's not only one bird in the cage. If there's more than one bird in the cage, they're having a good time. They're having a good time. There is no tsar balachayim. And therefore he suggests, this pasuk suggests, actually concludes by saying, even though from one hand you think that locking them up is restricting them from flying around the world, it could be that restriction is a benefit from them, and it will overrule the fact that it's a shtickle tsar balachayim, which many are questioning if there even exists in this case.